Hey guys, it's Shannon. It is, is it really Sunday? I thought it was Saturday. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's Sunday the 21st. I thought it was Saturday. Sunday the 21st. Wow. Okay, so we just got through the Snowpocalypse 2021. I don't think we have quite recovered yet. My face is chapped from the cold. My hands feel like sand is on them. I mean, it's just horrible. We had, oh my gosh, it's been like literally a snowball of stuff that has happened. You know, I mean, everyone in Texas right now has a story to tell. I mean, everybody, the stores look like the apocalypse is hit and there's no food. We're lucky that we have eggs, and we have several people who are, contacting us for eggs. So that's good. I mean, like, we ran out of dog food and cat food, and the cats and dogs had to eat eggs, scrambled eggs, and Greta was complaining, and I was like, eat your freaking eggs, cat. I was like, oh my God. And of course, I have no makeup on. It just makes no sense to put makeup on right now because we're working too hard. So the week before the snow thing hit, we did lose my sister-in-law. That was heartbreaking. It really was heartbreaking. She was a really talented, smart lady. Really was. Crazy smart. And just so we lost her. Here comes Schwartz, egg delivery man. He just went and put some eggs out in the box for a customer. I'm telling them about our fun week. So we also lost Bruce's cousin's wife, Mindy, who was my friend, and I'm gonna miss her because she always made me laugh. There was something about her that was just so fun and rank. She had such a spark to her. Literally, she was a challenge to doctors and stuff. She had such a spark to her. She and I had the same autoimmune disease, thyroid disease, Graves' disease, and I was able to get mine in remission twice, and hopefully it won't come back. I've been having to be really careful when my pulse goes up and stuff to make sure that I don't, because the doctor said if I get it back this time, I won't get rid of it. And she had it, and the disease has causes your entire body to go into overdrive, and it can damage your heart. And her heart, I don't know if she had any genetic issues to heart stuff or whatever, but I know that she had a lot of heart issues because of her illness. And so she and I shared that, talked about it and stuff, and I am definitely going to miss her. She really was a really unique, very, very cool lady. She gave us Peabody, our little wild duck who we raised, and so I'm really going to miss her too. It was a rough week. That was a rough week, and that was right before the snowpocalypse hit. Our power went out. A lot of people had the same issues. Our power went out when they did rolling blackouts and So we would have no power for an hour, and then we'd have power for 15 minutes. Not enough time to do much of anything. Well, bad thing about us is that we have a tank. Our tank is electric powered. Not our tank. Our well, where we get our water, is powered electrically. So we got a generator. Just God has a way of giving us little nudges in the right direction for some things. And so we bought a generator like the day before this hit, and just because, I think we need to get a generator because I don't know what this is, but let's just make sure, But we didn't have the connections to run the pump off of it, so, we learned there. And then when we did have power, the pump was frozen. So we didn't have any water. Even when we had power, we didn't have water. So so there was no way to keep us from not having, there was no way to have water until things either thawed or whatever. So we were kind of up the creek. So what we did is we have 150 chickens, and probably 200-ish quail, and we had to water them. And they needed a lot of water. So the first day, Alex brought in snow, and I used our gas. Thank God we have a gas stove in the house. I used the gas stove, and I melted snow, and then Alex and I would put it in a container, and then Alex would take it out to Dad, and Alex would bring in more snow. I would melt the snow, put it in a container, take it out to Dad. It was just and it was all day. It took all day just to water the birds, because this much snow turns into this much water, and it was, oh my gosh. So, we were blessed to have snow. Thank God we had the snow, because we wouldn't have had water for the birds. Fortunately, I had thought ahead of time enough to have some water, potable water, for our cooking and drinking. And then, so we had the generator, and Bruce used it to run lights to get the chickens taken care of, because it was dark by the time we were able to get water to them. And unfortunately, that caused a problem, because we have incubators going, and the incubators would stop. And so I went and covered them to try to keep them warm, see if we could save at least some of the eggs. And then we had babies and no heat lamp. So what I did is, thank God we have a wood stove, I brought all the babies into the living room, and I took dry washcloths and I put them on the wood stove to warm, and then I pushed the babies together and put the rag on top of the babies. And I had quite a few babies to do this to. The quail, oh my gosh. So I kept doing this. And so I'm in tears practically, trying really hard to do this, because I would put the rag on there, and I would put it on the babies, and it would last seconds. And then I had 6 rags going, putting it on the babies, trying to keep them alive. The house is 40 degrees in the house, or something like that. We have no insulation in the old farmhouse part, because it was, they didn't build it with insulation. So, it gets cold in here fast. And so the wood stove room was the only room. And I told Bruce, said, we may need to put doors. This house had doors, because this room is the kitchen, And up here is our kitchen flue. And so that was to a main, probably a stove, literally, that they cooked on. And then that was another thing that, sorry, let me finish this story first. So we have that in the other room too. But back when my family lived in this house, there was a door here, and they closed up this room, and everyone stayed in this room to stay warm. And then when it was time for bed, they'd open the door, and all the kids would just like run to their beds and just get under their covers really, really fast and try to get warm real fast. And that's how they did it back then. So I told Bruce, I said, we really need a potbelly stove here, because it would have been nice to have had additional heat, something else to, for something like that. If our heat goes out, it's miserable. So anyway, okay, but now let me get to this story. So see that right there, that broke when the house was moved. So we have two of them. One of them, they took the top off and the bottom stayed. This one, the whole thing kind of crumbled. And so what we did is we got help from a man who was the town mason, and really, really nice man. So you can see right there, he's up there in this room. There's no ceiling up. The beadboards had been taken down. He's on scaffolding, and he has my dad's propane heater hanging up there, which I thought was really smart of him to do. And he is rebuilding my fireplace flue. And then he built our Fachwerk house also. And he
I can explain what the Fachwerk is.
A Fachwerk house is a German type of building where they use cedar beams sideways, and they put the bricks in it, and then they plaster it. Well, ours isn't plastered, but it's just the bricks and the cedar beams, and it's a German style home that we turned into, and we used brick from someone's house that was a patio, literally just a sand brick patio. And but what was so cool is he put in some of the old brick from the flue. So when you go into the bathroom, there's pieces of red old brick, which is hundreds years old brick, and it still has the creosote, the black creosote on it from the wood stove. And so that was kind of fun. He did that. He said, I thought that would be fun. And so it really is. It's really fun. So when you go in there, you see those, every once in a while, you see some of those antique bricks in there. He was a really, really, really nice man, and he passed away this week. This last week. I didn't know today was Sunday, did you? I thought it was Saturday.
No, because we had I was going to say, hey, we can watch Pastor Ray this morning.
I was thinking, yeah, no. I lost a day somewhere. Oops. Oopsie. Such a nice man. The scaffolding that he's using, he left here for us to use because he said we needed it. He said, y'all can borrow that for a while because I know you need it. And he never did pick it up. And so, thank God, we used it for the whole house and saved our butt. Yep. Total, like literally, all the ceilings went up only because he left that scaffolding here. This man was an angel, and come to find out that he is the uncle of a friend of ours named Sonia and her son Dexter, that we've known for many years, and really precious people, and that's her uncle. And so she lost him this last week. The stories, man, crazy stories. He was so fun. He showed us how to clean the bricks so we could save time.
Oh, that's right, he did.
So he would work on the brick, and then when he would leave, we would clean brick all night long. And he showed us how to do it, and it was just it was fun. It was just a neat adventure. So yeah, so he passed away. So that he was a really nice man. We have been blessed in our life to know some really cool people. We the other day, Bruce went. I mean, the we didn't think about the generator and the gas. So he was running out of gas, and we needed the generator to run to keep lights on, and to keep a few things going, to keep the chicks warm, and stuff like that. And so he went to the neighbors and asked neighbors if they had any gas, and he had neighbors giving him their gas tanks, full of gas. And so thank God, because it got us through the night. And then he went to another neighbor's house the other day, and the neighbor gave us the most amazing sausage, and was like, I guess your incubators went down. So
sympathy sausage.
Sympathy sausage. sympathy sausage. And he said, I guess your incubators went down, so here's some more game bird eggs, and handed them to us, and to Bruce, and he brought them home. And there's nice people. Sometimes it surprises you when sometimes it just surprises you when you see people. You're kind of like, it's almost like, is there a catch? Because you're not used to people necessarily being so nice. So anyway, it just really, it has, we learned a lot. We did not lose. We lost, I had a few quail that were literally dying that I had to, oh my gosh, that I had like 10 quail after the power went back on and the heaters were running, and we could plug in. And I had a minute to look and see what was under the rags. There were about 10 quail that were dying. And so I put them on a rag, and I just, I just kept heating them because the heat lamps were going, so the rest of the quail are okay. And I kept heating them, and they came back. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Just warming them up, and they were like, literally dying, and just boom, they came back. And that was kind of amazing to me. I did lose probably about 4. We lost several quail outside from the cold. We have several roosters that have purple combs, and Maverick looks like he dipped his in water. His water bowl is really big, and I didn't think about it, and he must have dipped his...
Not anymore. I traded him out.
Okay.
Little 2 container where it's really...
Okay.
Still, I guess
so he dipped his wattles in water, and they froze, so he has frostbite. Couldn't have happened to a better rooster.
Yeah.
So Bruce and I were. So Bruce was trying to put some stuff on his wattles. They look weird. He was trying to put some stuff on his wattles, and I was like, his feet are really bad too. I started putting stuff on his feet, and he starts pulling them away, going, "Arr!" And I was like, well, fine. I'm not gonna mess with you, you little beast. He's gonna be eaten first. If we ever have a famine, he's going in the crock pot first. I have my little list.
Schindler's List.
Yeah. My Schindler's List. Well, he put a hole in my leg.
Yes, he did.
Twice. Let's see. So we got through all of that.
Met a cool little bird.
Huh?
Met a cool little birdie.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So there's snow everywhere. We've gone through all of this stuff. We walk out to see, just kind of crunch through the snow and kind of look at the beauty that's outside. I mean, it really is beautiful when that snow covers all the flaws. So you don't see all the crap everywhere. It's all covered in snow. And, so you walk out there and you're walking through a garden and Bruce is looking at me and all of a sudden this bird lands on my shoulder. And we don't know what it is. We're wondering if it was our painted bunting, but there was no blue on it. And it had a little red top hat. It's a green bird with a little red top hat. And it landed on my shoulder. And it sat there for a few seconds. And then it flew to the canopy that's over the pond and the arbor that's over the pond, and then it just kind of hung out with us for a little while.
It looked at us while it sat there. It looked at.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, hello. Such fun things happen here, I'll tell you. Those are the times when God's watching, because people need to pay more attention. I think, because in our home, we have a very, we're not off the grid or anything yet. We're just kind of homestead-ish, working on it. And nature talks to you, and it's very cool when you pay attention and listen. I remember one time we were reading a Bible verse. It was talking about the whistling through the trees, and I was like, "Oh, you mean like the one that whistles to us through our persimmon?" And it doesn't do it all the time. It just does it when we're,
When we're kind of sitting out there.
When we're sitting out there doing like a Bible study or something like that, or whatever. And then, but no, we were very fortunate that I did have to bring in my Moran hens, because the cold, they were not doing well in the cold. There was a lot of people that said, you don't need to do anything for your birds for the cold. And I was like, you shouldn't tell people that, because then if they don't and their birds die, you might be responsible. So I was like, whenever someone would say that, I would be like, if you feel like you want to do something for your birds, make sure you do, because, you don't want to listen to someone else and trust whatever they say and then have your birds die because you didn't do anything. So we did everything we could possibly do, but we did have to bring some birds in, because there were some situations in which they were getting stressed. Stress can kill a bird like that. It's crazy. So I did have to bring my Moran hens in, but then they were like little spoiled beasts, real fussy and telling us what to do. And then Dad has his little princess in the house who, she doesn't like me as much as she likes him. She likes to sit on his shoulder and cuddle and clean his beard. I'm like, it's because I don't have a beard, thankfully.
That's exactly right. That's what it is.
So, so we made it through and we learned a lot. So now it's like, okay, now what do we need to order for this? Now so we have to order different panels and stuff to make sure that the generator can work the pump house. We have to, we have to have more water storage than, I had like two giant, what were they? The big old cat litter containers in the bathroom full of water. It looks real pretty to have that in the bathroom. But they're in the bathroom in case of emergencies. When the power goes out, we have no water. So they were in the bathroom for emergency use for flushing the toilet. But the bad thing is it took a half of one to flush the toilet. And so, you only had 4 flushes worth of water in there. And I was like, well, I definitely need to
Melt some more snow.
Melts, yeah, or put something in the toilet to, to take up some space or something. I don't know, something. Oh, it was a challenge. It was definitely a challenge, definitely an adventure, and we definitely learned a lot. We will be more prepared the next time. And we were fortunate that we had the poor chickens literally would lay an egg and the egg would freeze. So those eggs would go to the dogs because they're frozen eggs, and they would pop from freezing, and which is not a problem if you eat it right away. It's not a problem if it pops and it's frozen. But yeah, it was interesting. It's like if you don't catch them right out the bottom, you're gonna have a frozen egg. So, putting some in the refrigerator or back out in the.
We gotta wait till the other lady comes by and picks hers up now.
So we have this this little sorry. We have this little ice chest type cedar built-in sort of thing that my brother Mike gave us that his dog chewed up, and so but it works fine. I mean, it just has chew marks on the legs, and so we use that at the entrance for when people want eggs, and so it works really well. And they come get their eggs and text us if they need however many they need, and works great. So so we've been doing that, and things are getting back to normal. I think I did lose most of my plants in my greenhouse, unfortunately, even though I had a heater in there. I think the heater kept shutting off, and so I think I lost probably a good 75% of my plants that were in the greenhouse. But hey, it's okay. We managed, and fortunately, the house, Justin's house, we had some pipes break there. Not at Bruce's house, and not here. So we were blessed in that way. And I know that the boys are having to boil their water. And we're on well water, so I don't think we have to boil ours. I hope not, because, well, I'm drinking coffee. That is boiled water, so. Anyway, so that's it. So that's my vlog post for today. It is. It looks like it's probably going to be a decent day, maybe a little cloudy. I have a lot to do. We're still recovering, so there's a lot to do, a lot of cleanup and stuff to do. And so we'll have to get to that. And hopefully I won't crash today. I did well yesterday. I crashed the day before. I tend to crash every other day. So today would be the crash day. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how I do. And Bruce is doing great. He's just booking it and getting it all done, and so that's great. Anyway, so I just wanted to say hi and update everybody on, just tell you the adventure we lived. I know everybody else has their own story. I mean, it definitely was an interesting. It's like COVID, then snow, and then another version of COVID, and I mean, it's just crazy. We've lost so many people. I've lost so many friends and family members. I lost an uncle. Bruce lost an uncle. We've lost friends, my dad, my dog, my sister-in-law. You know, he lost an aunt. Um, it's crazy. It's amazing how many people have passed away either because of COVID or because of other things that were related to COVID. And so just crazy, just absolutely crazy. And so I'm praying that that things calm down, and that I want to be as nice as the neighbors that brought us gas and gave us sausage. That's my goal in life, man. I want to do that. I want to be that person. It's very cool. So anyway, you guys, you stay safe. I still have a friend and his uncle who have COVID right now, and his uncle's in ICU, and he's having some shortness of breath. He's at home, but he's having shortness of breath. So I still have a lot of people that I'm worried about and praying for, and that need to get through some of this, and then hopefully we will get back to. I don't think we're going to get back to normal. I think that things are going to be different. I think we just have to. We're going to have to adjust to a new normal, and it's just going to have to. Every stage of history has its its stage, and it goes through it, and things change, and we're in that. And they went through different diseases and stuff like that in the old days, and it made changes in the entire infrastructure of the world at that time. And so it's going to happen with this also, and it just has to be something that we adjust to, and do the best that we can. And I don't know. I think that I'm one of the very fortunate ones that in the worst of situations, God opens my eyes and gives me peace, and changes me, and I am very grateful for it. I'm not the person I was when I was younger, and I am so very grateful that I am a different person. I am so grateful that I am in some ways stronger, and I have been blessed with counseling, and by a Christian counselor, Eva, and for a year, and it changed my life and made me understand my history, and change that story for my own change, understand it, and move forward, and so it's just really it's been an interesting, challenging adventure. Bruce and I have done a lot of crazy things, including this house. Just crazy stuff. We've got some major stories. We know how to do almost everything. But anyway, so you guys take care, and we pray that you stay safe, and that you're able to find joy and peace in all of this chaos. And I will talk to you later. Bye.